We can all agree that it's been a pretty miserable economy in the last few years, but when it comes to policies and politics, there's very little common ground on who's to blame.
The Bush regime had so thoroughly prostituted itself out to corporate interests that the country was just basically being drained off and robbed.
Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Two very different views coming to a theater near you. The big screen documentaries take a deeper look at how Washington's decisions affect all of our wallets. The difference in the viewpoints is staggering. CNN's Karine Winter breaks it down.
I learned in school spreading the wealth is good for everyone.
Well, I learned from real life that it's not.
Two documentaries.
You can't take it with you. So if you don't share it, if you don't empower someone else, then you're soulless.
Two very different perspectives. I Want Your Money and Ghetto Physics square off in theaters and clash in their take on what makes a good economy. Both films offer interviews from their respective sides, but opt for different gimmicks to emphasize their points. I Want Your Money breaks into sequences of animation.
Yeah, go us.
Ghetto Physics uses what directors Will Arntz and Raymond Brown call street language. They say it's effective with viewers.
They start offended and a little upset and a little weird and uncomfortable, and by the end, they're someplace different.
When I talk in terms of pimps and hoes, and when we use that metaphor in the movie, we're actually seeing that that's what's going on from the streets to the White House.
Brown says comparing Pennsylvania Avenue to the ghetto can actually help audiences understand Washington's role in the economic meltdown.
The Bush regime had so thoroughly prostituted itself out to corporate interests that the country was just basically being drained off and robbed. Now when Obama came in, people had hoped that he was going to counter it. And what they're finding out is he's really somewhat being prostituted out to the same powers and factions.
The other film has a different view.
Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
The Michigan GOP Congressman Thad McCotter is in I Want Your Money. He thinks Ronald Reagan had it right.
Money is taken out of the private economy, out of private charity, housed in Washington, and then redistributed as people in a centralized bureaucracy see fit, rather than the very people that the Ghetto movie is talking about, trying to have it in their hands and empower them. You cannot be empowered if you are dependent.
Arntz disagrees.
When I hear that, it's just wrong, because if you look at the Reagan, basically all the Republican administrations, what they do is they spend all the money, they give the tax breaks to the rich, and then the rich get richer, the poor get poorer.
It's a centuries-old debate that both films seem happy to continue.
I'm glad that the other guys are putting out their movie, because when you spark public debate, what you do get to is the broadest consensus you can from the American people.
The American people can decide which documentary they prefer. Both are in select theaters now. Karine Winter, CNN, Hollywood.